Good morning, friends. It's been a little while. I've had a lot going on these last couple of weeks. You might say the poo has hit the fan. And so that brings me to what I wanted to discuss this morning, which is what do you do when the poo hits the fan? So, what do I mean by that exactly? Let's just imagine, like, whatever this wellness thing that you are trying to better yourself at. Maybe that's your exercise habits or your diet. For me, that the thing that I'm always striving to get better about is time management, especially with my job. It's really all over the place, and like the kids' activity schedules and everything. There's no consistency to it, and so time management is a real beast for me. So that's something I'm always working at, and something I had worked at recently was how can I make this work? How can I make this work so that I can make this business work, that I can make this job work and still have kids and still be a mom and still feel like I'm managing my household and maintaining maybe a little better than the status quo here. And so I had worked really hard at kind of breaking down my schedule and looking at day to day. Every day is going to be different for me. What can I do each day to make this go a little more swimmingly for me? And I developed this new routine, and it was working really, really well. And I had kind of been plugging away at it for a couple of months. I wasn't always perfect about it, but it was this thing that I could keep coming back to when things got a little bit tough. I could just kind of go back to that schedule and say, all right, here's what I'm supposed to be doing now. Don't worry about what I missed. Let's do what I'm supposed to be doing now. And having that plan, really helped me to stay focused. But unfortunately, sometimes life takes little turns, and those turns often lead you way off course, and that kind of happened to me over these last few weeks. I got the kids got sick, I got sick. There's just been a lot of extra stuff going on in our schedules, and it just kind of seemed like everything just somehow managed to pile on all in this short few week period of time. So again, maybe that for you is like that's the exercise habit you're trying to develop. Maybe you're good about it for a couple of weeks, and then, life happens, right? The kid gets sick, you get sick. You just, something happens, like you have to take care of a parent or something like that. You have extra activities going on with your kids beyond what you normally do. So whatever that is for you, I'm sure we've all been there. I know we've all been there. That's a big part of why I do what I do, is because people want that help knowing what do I do in those situations. So some things that kind of help for me. So over these last couple of weeks, I had to remind myself, this is not the usual situation. All right, this isn't the norm. I'm not failing to do these things because I'm just choosing not to do them. I'm failing to do these things because life is throwing me a curveball here, because this is not ordinary, because more than would normally happen in this period of time is happening. So I had to first and foremost be forgiving. I think that's a really important step in wellness, is to be able to be forgiving of yourself when this kind of stuff happens. You have no control over these sorts of things sometimes, and it's important to just remember that that this is not a forever situation. This is not a forever state that you're in, and you can forgive yourself. The second thing is that I think we kind of have to enter into this survival state, right? So right now it isn't about when it gets chaotic. It's not about trying to be the best you can be. It's about just trying to survive sometimes. So what was important to me during these last couple of weeks? It was important to me that my kids knew that they were loved, that they were fed, that they had clothes on their back, clean clothes on their backs, that they were able to get where they needed to go. That was probably priority number one. Second to that would be just basic household tasks. So just making sure that the laundry is washed and dried. It doesn't have to all be folded and put away. It doesn't have to all be done in a certain exact timely manner, but just, do you have enough to wear and to clothe the children? For me, just, can I feed my family? So an example, if you're focusing on healthier eating, just because you're in a state of chaos doesn't mean that you have to just resort to ordering Little Caesars. You know, and it's fine if you do that once in a while, but, you know, trying to avoid making stuff like that like the daily habit, and how can we change that survival mode into something that's maybe a little bit better for us. So maybe for the person trying to eat a little healthier, you run to the grocery store and you get a rotisserie chicken, a bag of the microwavable rice, and the pre-washed boxed lettuce or the pre-chopped veggies. You just do what you absolutely have to do to make sure that you're still doing something that's a healthful choice for whatever your goal is. So again, for me, that might just be just making sure that there is a meal on the table, whatever it is. Just make sure that it happens. Just make sure that, you know, the bed gets made, the dishes get run in the dishwasher, and the laundry gets thrown into the washing machine. That's kind of a bare minimum state for me, and that's kind of what I had to do in these few weeks. And I think the last thing that I'd like to point out is that, you know, probably the advice you've heard before from your mom, your grandma, maybe you've given it to your children, is that this too shall pass. And just remember that this is a season. This is a very, very temporary season. This is not a forever state. This too shall pass. And so try not to fall into that mindset of, oh, I screwed up again, so I'm just gonna give up on this goal. Absolutely not. You just remember what you were doing before, all right? And when you get back to that state, like I am now, where I'm feeling healthier again, so that cold has finally blown over for me and I have a little bit more energy again, I can get back up and I can just start taking steps towards that time management, or towards doing things for my business, just like baby steps to kind of get back to where I was. So eventually we do have that goal of just getting back to where we were before. But again, this too shall pass. You're in a little season. Just remember that, you know, tomorrow is another day, or a week from now is another week. We can get back up and start all over again. And you're not starting from square one. You've started developing this habit, and so, you know, you're just helping to build on that. So just keep going, keep your chin up, and you will get there. I hope that you guys all find a little peace from the chaos today. Bye.